Okay. So I'm going to be talking about beyond Copilot, how do we build custom AI agents? So like every one of us might have known, Copilot is that Microsoft LLM platform, large language model platform, that is built like every other large language models. You get to ask questions, you get to get response to your questions, you get to do quite a number of tasks. But the problem with Copilot is the task you do there are just passive tasks. You only get to see answers to your questions. Sometimes when you write your code, you just see the code it gives to you, but you do not have actionable. It does not give you an actionable task. What do I mean? So let's say, for example, you want to write a mail. Okay, you want to write a mail to someone. So you consulted Copilot to do that for you. So what Copilot did was get some necessary information, some background information it needs from you, and then effectively write the email. But what it cannot do is to help you to send that email. What it cannot do is to look into your calendar, plan your day for you, understand what activities you have, and maybe when someone wants to book a meeting with you, it tells you this person is not available this time, or this is the time this person will be available. And that is the new era of artificial intelligence we are going to be seeing. That new era is titled agentic AI. Agentic AI leverages on the ability of LLMs to understand context and also uses tools, several tools that are available, the calendar, like I just mentioned, the ability to interact with your computer, and so on. It uses all of these tools to not just give you a response, but to act on that response. And this is exactly where we are going to see that Copilot is not just enough, right? We need to do something that is on top of that. And that is where Microsoft has a solution, Microsoft Power Automate. So Microsoft Power Automate is that platform that enables you to not only ask questions, on whatever questions you have, but also helps you to build workflows on them. And let me give you my example. So let's say, for example, you have a business online. People want to ask questions about your business. They want to buy things on your e-commerce platform. They want to know, they want to understand what they can get from your business, right? But you are not just always there. As a person, you are not always there to respond to questions. How about if you have a bot that is always there 24/7 to respond to those questions? That bot is not just responding to general questions. So let's say, for example, someone wants to know, do you still have maybe someone that sells groceries? So you want to know, do you still have this particular beverage, right? It's not just responding that, we might have or something. It goes directly into the store, checks the amount of the items available, and checks those that are not available, and maybe even the quantity of those available. And it uses that information to respond to you. So this kind of intuitive response, responding based on actionable knowledge, okay, is what Microsoft Power Automate does. It enables you to build workflows and not just passive responses. And these workflows are actionable solutions. Okay. And that is an example of how that could be. So what is a custom AI agent? Custom AI agents are three major groups. The first one is the agent itself has a clear objective of what it wants to achieve. So, like the example I made earlier, when you have an e-commerce platform and someone is visiting your platform to ask if you have a particular product, it is not just it is not just a prompt to it, but because of the tools it has, the ability, the access it has to the database and all of that, it has a clear objective of what it wants to do. check the database, find out if you have the item, and respond to you if it is available. And when it is available, maybe tell you the number of items you have, the number of items that is left in the store. So number one is the goal. The agent has a clear objective of what it wants to achieve. Number two is also the tools. So, just like Copilot is there, it can respond to questions, but it does not have access to these tools. It does not have access to this database, it does not have access to these emails, it does not have access to all of these tools that can make it not to just respond, but to act on its response. So this tool is also another component of custom AI agents. Then the third category is the memory. The memory is like that brain, okay? That brain that gives the LLM chain of thoughts. So let's say, for example, it gets your questions, then the first thing it's able to make a decision of going to the database to check the items there. So when it does that, then probably checks maybe through records, update records, the number of items that are left in the database. So how is it able to transition from this tool to this tool, while also keeping in memory what is able to extract from one tool and what is able to see from the other tool? It is the memory. It is the memory that enables it to know that, okay, when I check the database, I can find that the item is available. Now, when I moved up to the update record, I can observe that it is just 2 items that are left. So how is it able to bridge all of this knowledge together? It is through the memory. So custom AI agent again has 3 tools. Number 1, the goal. Number 2, the tool. And number 3, the memory. The memory to interact through all of these tools and to be able to, at the end of the day, respond to your questions. Okay. Then also, like I have given earlier, some of the real world uses of this Power Automate in automatic workflows or building AI agents. So I've talked about the customer support agents, where you get to ask questions or you even get to order, right? You can just connect your payment cards with this agent, and then it does everything for you. It pays for whatever it is you buy. And again, with your permission, right? With having human within the loop, okay, so that we can avoid you can just avoid spending all your money on that. So another example I want us to also look at is HR, right? So oftentimes in organization where you have a number of staffs, it's not always very easy for HR to keep up with the well-being of your well-being as a staff, being notified and keeping track of your leave, keeping all this information about all the staffs, everyone at the same time. It's not always very easy. So it's also possible to have these internal HR agents. Internal HR agents that keeps employees' requests, notifies manager or whatever it is that the employee is reporting to the HR, and so many other tasks that that relate to the activity of an HR, and not just an HR. Many other fields that where documents are being kept, informations are being processed, is also another area where AI agents can be very useful. Also beyond that, SME for small, medium enterprises or businesses. Recently, I had the opportunity of taking some of my students through building AI agents on WhatsApp. Okay, so for the example I gave earlier, for the customer support agent I mentioned earlier, it's easy to say, let's build this agent and then integrate it on our website. But not always do people want to go to websites to be chatting with an agent. A lot of people use WhatsApp. So why not just keep this agent on WhatsApp so that people can go on with chatting with their friends and also at the same time get to interact with your product. So this is also another possibility where People do not just only ask questions, they order for products, they give their complaints, they interact with the business, okay, and ask any questions and get answers to any of their questions on WhatsApp or any other platform. So these are some of the real world scenarios of where AI agents or agentic workflows can be built and its effects can be felt. So why does this matter? Why does this matter to us as professionals in data and AI? Is because one, during the period of, before the time of AI, we all know as coders, as developers, you have to read a lot of documentations, you have to check out when you have an error, you have to look at, or a bug, you have to look at it on Stack Overflow and see what people have said. But things have changed. Things have not just changed. A lot of innovations are coming in at a very much exponential rate. So how do we as individuals, as developers, how do businesses in Africa, how do people get to leverage on all of these solutions? Is why we have to look beyond what Copilot or every other LLM offers, but to see how each of these LLMs transform themselves into actionable solutions, where they don't just respond to us, but they act on those responses. It is here that I am going to be stopping. So if you have questions on what I've discussed so far, so I'd like to get them. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Farouk Afolabi. Can we appreciate him by reacting with an applause? I want to say like as many applause as possible. Thank you so much. We really appreciate your presentation, on custom AI agent. Yes, thank you so much. Please, if you have questions, you don't understand anything, just drop your